let go. Jaja give me strength and hope, strength and hope, strength and hope. You be my strength and hope.
Get the winning taste and nutrition Jamaica knows and loves with LASCO Food Drink. The time by LASCO Food Drink is
12:29.
Now you can have a Heineken 00 before driving. The time by Heineken 00, great taste, zero alcohol, must be 18 years old to drink, is
12:29. time it is. It's 12:30 in the eye. Agent SASCO, formerly known as Assassin, is a world-renowned dancehall DJ, prolific writer, and philanthropist. Since his career began as a teenager, he has churned out a slew of hits and has collaborated with the likes of Kendrick Lamar, Jerry Wonder, Melanie Fiona, Cardinal Official, rapper Little John, among countless others. Through his Banks of Hope Foundation, Agent SASCO has adapted the Metcalf Street Juvenile Remand Center and continues to help raise awareness about the importance of rainwater harvesting. Today on the road to success, we journey with Agent SASCO. From the Banks of Hope, he's winning right now. SASCO, welcome to the road to success, the journey. All right, I am not hearing you. I can't hear you right now, right? It's all about the virtual space, and we're really grateful that you're able to join us.
Well, you not drag me to the information age because me a real Neanderthal.
But let's just kickstart things with your foundation. You're from a big family with lots of brothers and sisters. What was it like for Jeffrey Campbell growing up in Kintyre, St. Andrew?
All right, so the first part is that it wasn't exclusively in Kintyre. That's where I live primarily with my mother, my older brother and older sister, being the wash belly for my mother. But my father lives in St. Catherine, and that's out between both places, and in the middle of 9 for my father, and so it was very festive, weekends and holidays and thing, and my father have like a farm and things, so tie out goat and feed pig and feed cow and all of them things that was a part of growing up, and also just learning to do things about the place, build this and nail up that, and them kind of thing, which is part of what I'm very much involved in and passionate about, and at this time, yeah.
So, being the wash belly for your parents, did you get preferential treatment for your mom?
So, yeah. So, finish the question. If I got what?
Did you, if you got preferential treatment? Because we know how mummies are, with the last one, everything is for the last child, the wash belly.
Put it this way, everybody have their own perspectives, right? So, from where I was standing, it never seemed so. So maybe if you ask my brother and my sister, they might have a different account. But it was. And I have nothing to complain about, give thanks that I had the time that I did with my mother. Of course, she died when I was 23. And so up until that point, I can only, just give thanks that I got the mother that I got. And then up to this point, thankful for the father that I have and the kind of relationship that I have with him. And also, just the kind of things that he made sure to at least try to impart, and not just me, but us.
And our parents are usually like our first role models. Can you share with us like a lesson you have learned, from both parents that still resonates with you as an adult today?
Countless. So for example, my father, I never see my father smoke anything, ever. Nor my mother, for that matter. So, but just talking from the male aspect of things, and so I've never smoked anything. So that's very much a big part of just the fact that my father wasn't that example in terms of and then of course a part of that is choice as well. I've just chosen to not do that, but I think that's a very a significant part of that. And then from my mother's side, it's just her trust in God and just her being a true and true good person, just the kind of person that is beloved in the community. People, everybody call her Auntie Nelly. Just always a Christian lady with very Christian beliefs and how she went about things, just, so the kind of, humility and willingness to help others and give of what she don't have. And, this is the kind of thing that, you hear so often, but I mean, literally just giving what you can. And sometimes it's not material or monetary. It's, it's time, and it's a listening ear to someone, them kind of vibes.
Jeffrey Camblin High School. What type of schoolers were you? The type who obey or you out on bad?
What type of student? I've been the, well, for lack of a better term, I mean, it is what it is. I've been no, I can't say it. No, my mouth can't say it. So I've been the jovial one in the class. Let's just say that. Yeah. And, get trouble and, crack joke and beat the desk and DJ and, well, at the same time, I was a more than fair student, so, that balance out that. My teacher, them would have testified to that, I hope.
Now, after high school, you did sixth form, and according to my research, your dream at that time was to go to college to pursue a degree in mass communication with focus on journalism. But your career in music started at 17. So take us back to this moment when you traded mass comm for music.
All right, so of course, by the time you get to third and fourth form, you start to have the career, talks and people coming to the school. Oh, geez, seriously? Yeah, people come and trying to, help steer you towards, what your future might be. And, the recurring theme was making sure that you actually love what you're pursuing. So, so my love, as far as it was at that time, was definitely music first, and also loved architecture. So I was thinking about either one, but then because I kept saying, whatever you love, you pursue something in that. Now, at that time, once again, loving music, I figured if I wasn't going to be on the stage myself or, being interviewed, then I could be conducting the interview. So, I'd be on the other side of the microphone. So that was the thinking in wanting to pursue mass communication. It was because of my love of music. But interestingly, even though I'm a DJ from, as far as I can remember, like from 3.5, 4 years old, and even though I win DJ competition, against guys, much bigger than me, all big man too. Another time I win a DJ contest and the brother Vex, I want to fight me, and the other man, them up there, calls me a juvenile and that, anyway. But even though all of that was happening, I still never felt like I could, like be an artist, because, it's somehow reserved for, there's some alien type of special people that I used to look up to, like, Professor Nuts and Stitchy them and, Papa San and things. So, so even being in high school and beating the desk and I win clash after clash and a DJ a barbecue and a mash up the place, I still felt like it was, somehow reserved for, some different,
So what gave you the courage? Because, you're thinking that, boy, this is something that you could do, but like you say, you didn't see yourself on the stage doing it. What actually propelled you and motivated you to take the next step?
Well, again, even though something was telling me that, no, man, clearly it's, it have to be some special something. I always saw myself doing it, though. That's the next thing. So I always saw myself performing, for, a sea of people in front of me, like it, even without wanting it. So it wasn't even, I wasn't dreaming of it to do it. It was more just seeing it. Like, it's strange. You understand? Like, I don't even know. I saw it, but I really feel like, no, I guess everybody dream like this. So, just like how when World Cup time come around, you dream about scoring the winning goal in the World Cup. Man on the ball from nowhere, but you can't. So, I think I used to think that it was the same kind of thing. But how things turned into me thinking, so I'll do something else, into me going to the studio is just a series of events that, you know, when people say I did just say it for go, you know, warfare, just, you know, them kind of vibes. Literally, I was giving my music away, and it turned out into meeting Spragga Benz, and him introducing me to Donovan Jermaine, and be like, yo, Jermaine, that you would have one DJ film summer holiday, because I was in lower six at the time, and you know, for the summer before upper six. That's the first time I set foot in a recording studio, and that's when I met Jermaine and I met Spragga for the first time right there. So, and then from there, you know, that entire school year was me going to studio after school, and you know, things like that, and then that was 2000, and then by 2001, you know, I think started going. So it was yeah, it was just like, I don't know, very interesting.
So what would you say your conversation with Spragga Benz, he actually helped you to realize that you are ready for the next step on your musical journey?
All right. So a couple things happened with that, me meeting Spragga. So what happened was, so when I went to sixth form, my brethren Briggy, who is Spragga nephew, you know, we were in fifth form at the same time, and me and him would have been clashing back and forth, you know, Friday evening time, and we used to hang out together, you know, really party together and thing. And what Briggy used to do, Briggy would have come at school more time and DJ the unreleased Spragga them, boss made wicked. Me I said, no, where the man find that, you know? And then no, so you know, it go from so pretty much I had to be competing with Spragga level material at the time, because when the man dropped that on Friday, you better have something next Friday, you know what I mean? So anyhow, when we finish when we finish fifth form together now, Briggy go on to pursuing music, and so me used to like, you know, still a build my tune and be like, yo, Briggy, you're that one here. And yo, I say, yo, that wicked. I say, yeah man, you can take it, cause you don't know me as schoolers, and you know, in my pursue him thing. So one of the song them that I gave to Briggy, Spragga ended up like hearing the song, Briggy performing the song, and then it was at like Steely and Clevey and the Street Sweeper with him forward. I'm like, yo, Briggy, that tune, you know what me do, you know what I mean? Anyway, Spragga ended up doing the song, and one of my brethren, you know, Nikolai Jarisin, R.I.P. Johnny come on, I say, yo, me the asylum, I hear the tune, brother. So in meeting Spragga, what it proved to me is that the material that I'm making up wasn't just good enough for me. I'm a school friend, but I remember Colin Hines was playing one Saturday, and he was like, yo, this new one from Spragga Benz, so it's such a prolific writer and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, what? You know, so that kind of confirmed that, all right, the material that I'm putting together is at least good enough for Spragga to want to do it. And by the way, Spragga one of the artists them too. And also for like, you know, radio personalities playing it and be feeling like, you know, it's impressive stuff. Because also, as a matter of being objective and with myself, I realize that everybody feels that them thing are the wickedest thing. So to me, and then everybody friend them too. You know, when you have good friends, them boost up, yo, my friend are the toughest thing. So up until that point, it was kind of like, maybe I'm just another classroom DJ, or maybe I'm just another community DJ, you know, and everybody tell us, boy, that tough, you know, boy, if you cut a record, you know, the amount of time you hear that, you know what I mean? So, and not just for me, but for other man too, you know what I mean? So, so this Spragga interaction really made me recognize that it was, at least there was something there that was good enough for that level.
No, Spragga, you said Spragga introduced you to Donovan Jermaine and ultimately Penthouse Records. Still being young and fresh in the game, and Penthouse was the home of you know, the Buju Banton, Wayne Wonder. Describe for us what was that like for you, and how did you build up your confidence over time, just being among persons who are doing it?
All right, so one of the things that I also realized really quickly was that all of the people who I, you know, looked up to or look up to still, and you know, just had in such great esteem, immediately recognized that I had something, and you know, were very vocal about it. So for example, meeting Buju, we used to go Buju in my school uniform. First record was put out by Gargamel Music. The first time I saw my name on a vinyl record, it was produced by Gargamel Music, a song named Revamp, and it was on the A side, not no B side business, you know. So yeah, I mean, as a juvenile and thing, you know, so So that, you know, so things like that. And so my artists, them like real artists, them doing, you know, growing up time from early on, chronological order as best as I can. Stitchy and Papa San, Professor Nuts, Shabba, then Bujo, then Bounty and Spragga, you know, the latter half. And then by the time I get to high school, I start to appreciate the music or the art form rather, more as like martial arts, where remember some old martial arts movie where you have different styles of kung fu or karate, and the more styles, you know, the better it is, right? So like, what I know is art, you have the Bunty style and the ninja style, and you have like that line, and then you have and Shabba would have been from that same vibe, but then you have the Capleton, and then you have the Baby Wayne, and then Cabra over this, and then, you know what I mean? So I started to, and of course being, I mean, all the greats, I start to appreciate how different people have different styles, and you can, you know, learn from all of them. So it grew beyond just, you know, admiring a few artists to, you know, just the art form itself, and understanding that you can learn from every man, even Mango ranks from the little amateur part of the concert. You know, I try to reach out to show them early for just see everybody and try to learn everything, and, you know, just being a student of the music kind of thing.
Now, as a youngster and getting that taste of the industry and seeing persons that you idolize and being in the same space with them, what actually kept Assassin at the time grounded?
All right, you know, so one of the most powerful experiences of my life was meeting Spragga Benz for the first time. It would be the most famous person I ever meet. I did on a bus one time at Half Tree and see Bunty under the, like, them used to wash cars in the Half Tree bus park. And I on the bus for got Papi, you know. Like, I on the bus from 6 Mile. And when I see a Bunty killer that stand up there, so I come off of the bus and just stand up one side and just look on the man. Anyway, so but I never meet him. I just did and I say, right, I Bunty that, you know. Anyway, the first time I got meet Spragga now, this is the most famous person I got meet. And I remember just to see him stand up one side and just observe everything about him. And him have on a jean shorts the time and a marina. And him sit down on like one of the console in a penthouse. And I look on the man foot and say a big vein in him foot around and so. And I say, he's a man. It's just a man. Remember me I tell you say earlier on music things say some special beings are for do this thing. In that moment, as simple as I take it, we just acknowledge the fact, say, listen, he's a man like every other man. And to this day, it's, you know, people are people. You know, I just say it goes. So in meeting everybody and in, you know, becoming an artist myself and people meeting me and be like, so a lot of thing when I get all the time is people say, so me not like, you just humble, so or you just like them expect you to like walk by your hands or something. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so that was like I said, one of the single most important acknowledgements that I made in that first meeting. That listen, so the big V and Panaman foot there is a man like everybody else.
Now, ultimately, you, before your Diamond Studio, which is now, you started or co-founded Board House Records with your brother. Can you remember what actually propelled you to create your own so early on in the game?
So it's kind of like when you look at, you know, the landscape and see the people that you also admire and see the steps that they have taken, it's kind of like almost automatic. You know, it was another one of the things that if you mean yourself any good and if you have no ambition as a human being and as an artist, then, you know, you want to have your own label. And, you know, just so outside of that also, you want to be able to, in a creative space, do exactly what you want to do. You know, whenever you record for a producer, it's kind of like, you know, it's a shared vision of, you know, what you want and what the producer wants. But if you're, you know, producing your own, then it becomes, you know, what you want to put forward. But at the same time, I always was very keen to not feel like, oh, I'm going to start my label and record only for my label and, you know, like pretty much lean on my own understanding. It was always to just have that outlet, but, you know, still, you know, record for other producers and, you know, keep it going like that.
No, you could have taken a different path because as Assassin, lyrically, you're wicked, you're bad. Everybody know that. And there are times when, you know, you could have gotten entangled in clashes and, you know, lyrical.
Last time your entanglement in our interview was
Jada, right?
Find a different word there.
Okay. Perhaps, but you could have gone down that lyrical path, exchanging, you know, jabs, musical jabs. What actually prevented you from taking that path? And, you know, did you have somebody who sort of mentor you to say, you know, this is not the direction?
So it was a couple of things. Of course, at the time I was very young, so you know, you're kind of more. Well, you know, let me speak for myself. At the time, I was young and still trying to figure things out. But you know, the more I leaned into what I wanted for myself, I realized that, you know, I never wanted that, and it never made sense to me to divide an audience. So you know, when I look at once again the people who I admired. And certainly what made the most sense was, you know, like for example, Buju never had a rival, so to speak. And at the same time, Bunty, I'm a DJ throughout high school, but then there was the Bunty Beanie division. And so like, you know, it was, so I know that, you know, when you have a this versus that, it splits the audience. You have some people who are going to decide to, just because them represent the other person, them then are nothing with you. So to me, it never made sense to want to pursue anything like that because it going divide and you know. So I never wanted it for myself, and that was a cornerstone of, you know, why I veered away from it. But of course, being with Pentos at the time, Jeremy and also was like, yo, you know, you don't need that, and you know, and then on the next side of it too, I realized that it doesn't prove anything, because you know, if you think you're going to prove, you know, who's the better artist in them kind of, you know, tracing match, you're not accomplishing that. So then what's the point?
Now, 2005 was a bittersweet year for you. You kind of alluded to it earlier. You released your debut album, Infiltration. You became a father and you lost your mom. How did this period of sadness and joy impact your life?
Oh, man. Well, so I had to grow up really quickly. You know, of course, especially turning a father that same year. And just, you know, dealing with the loss of, you know, not just a loved one, but, you know, your mother, that, you know, a very central part of your whole existence. And to process, you know, all of that with everything that was happening at 23 years old, it was time to just listen, you know, deal with it, you know, like, you know, you have to, especially with now being responsible for a child myself, you know, you have to just get up and get on with it. So I was very deliberate about learning how to deal with that. And as a matter of fact, that's how the whole agent thing started, because, you know, at the end of 05 going into 06, I wanted to, you know, like inspire myself and rejuvenate my whole vibe and things. So so I cut my braids off the day actually after my mother died, and I decided that Agent 006 for the year 2006, you know, would be that kind of alter ego that was gonna, you know, propel me through, you know, this tough time. And you know, one of the things that I also figured would be useful was, you know, just to immerse myself in the work to distract me from, you know, what I was going through personally. And yeah, so yeah, that's how I approached it.
As you mentioned, 2006, which, you know, started the whole agent for you. But not only did you do a name change, you actually rebranded and changed your entire musical posture. I mean, why such a drastic change? I know what you mentioned earlier, but it was kind of like, you know, a different path. Well,
so I'm not sure that I rebranded, so to speak, apart from the name part, because, you know, my material has always, you know, so the younger days it was more frivolous for real, but it wasn't all frivolous. So, you know, so for example, a lot of the catalog from that time, you know, songs like Eat That Thing, That and them thing, that, you know, still social commentary. It's just that, you know, I was growing up and I embraced that, and I really more than anything, even before I started, one of the deals that I made with myself, I really look in the mirror one day at, I don't know, maybe I was still 17 at the time, and say, okay, I'm going to pursue this thing. Couple of things. I'm not going to pursue it blindly and without reason for 5, 6, 7 years, just plowing away if it not work out. Because I've seen that happen, with a lot of people. And I decided that, listen, in 2 years, if you can't see marked progress, it's time for go find something else and do. So I had that conversation. And then another part of the conversation was, no matter what happens with this thing, I must always recognize myself in the mirror like I am now. I was looking in the mirror literally saying, listen, no matter what go on, you're supposed to still look like yourself. So still no piercings, no tattoos, none of that for me, because that's just kind of like the conversation that I had with myself. So a next part of that was to always be real with myself. And so my material should always really represent my values and, my core beliefs and things. So, if I'm getting older and I don't feel like I don't think the same way I was thinking when I was 17, then I'm not going to say the same things regardless. And so that is, and then, I have kids now, and then the kids them start get big, and then I start thinking about my grandchildren, and what them I go think about my music, when them Google grandpa and say, what the ratted grandpa did I go with? And then I say, my kids them I do it now. Well, like Joshua, we just find a tune, Daddy, I didn't know this one, and eat that thing that, and in my jive with it, and whatever else. So yeah, it was kind of like those things that started to just, have an impact on how I chose to go about my music, and then even the value of it. So even like I find that the fulfillment for me was coming from the songs that people come up to me and tell me that, boy, I really love this song because, it make me feel better, or, it inspire me, or, when I'm having a bad day, I play this song or whatever. Then I start to realize that is really where I was getting the most fulfillment, and so then if it, if it make me feel good and it make people feel good, then let's do more of that,
Have you ever had a time on your journey that you have said to yourself, Agent SASCO, this not working out? Have you ever had that moment?
Of course. Listen, so there was a point where I was having quote unquote, relative success. A thing I go on, shows up, I fly out every, other weekend, or if not every weekend, city after city, everything nice. And what used to happen to me, I used to get back to the hotel room, and there's a time when you're back in the hotel room, you're still riding off adrenaline from the show, and you can't really fall asleep just yet. And so them hour or two before you fall asleep, you start to realize how kind of lonely it was. And then it started to turn into a bit of frustration, because I used to feel guilty for not feeling more appreciative of what was going on, because eventually I get to figure out that it is because the real fulfillment was there, because I wasn't doing it exactly how I wanted to do it, with the saying exactly what I wanted to say, and representing things exactly how I wanted to. So that's where the discomfort was coming from. And then, like working through that and trying to reconcile how I'm feeling without people want me to do it. What you talk about? We need it for this and we need it for that. And especially, at the time it was just hard to figure that out. And at times it felt like maybe
not for you.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna do something else, or whatever.
On that note, SASCO, we're going to take a quick break. So listen up to your top draw dollars. Pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick, and cash pot lunchtime draws up next.
When me use Island Fresh with aloe vera, it make me skin feel so much smoother. So if you want to feel better and smell fresher, use Island Fresh with aloe vera.
Manufactured by Island Products, 934-0666.
The time is...
It is 12:59.
While driving through Jamaica, there's only one radio station I listen to. IRE FM.
So we're standing by for your top draw dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick, and cash pot lunchtime draws. It is Road to Success, the journey with Agent SASCO. Stick and stay, of course, so much more after cash pot.
Your lucky day. Get your tickets out and let the games begin.
Good afternoon. It's Thursday, April 15, 2021. I'm Samantha, and welcome to this afternoon's Supreme Ventures live game draw. Now, before we begin, here's a quick look at our mid-morning winning numbers. Now, remember, all Supreme Ventures live game draws are supervised by the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Commission and observed by the independent auditing firm PwC. So now let's put some money in your top draw. This afternoon's jackpot is back at $200,000. So congrats to the mid-morning winner. And here are the winning top draw numbers. Good luck. And for money on top of money, first up for top draw this afternoon is 18. The second top draw number is 7. Now making its way down is lucky number 16. Next in line, we have lucky number 5. And for $200,000, you're going to need number 15. So now let's pick your play with our dollars game. I hope you're feeling lucky this afternoon. The winning dollars numbers are coming your way. Here goes. First up for dollars is 26.
26.
The second dollars number is 36. Now making its way down is 20. Next in line, we have 16. And 16 is followed by number 28. Now coming down slowly but surely is 6. Next up, we have lucky number 11. Now I hope I'm calling your winning numbers. Next in line, we have 27. And 27 is followed by lucky number 2. Making its way down is 33. 33 is followed by the number 13. Now we're wrapping things up this afternoon with the number 9. So now for some easy winnings with our Pick 2 game. Get those tickets out and let's go play. First up for Pick 2 is 34. The second Pick 2 number is 26. So again, the winning Pick 2 numbers are 34 and 26. Up next, you can play it 3 ways, and that's, of course, our Pick 3 game. So here we go. First up, a Pick 3 is 8. The second Pick 3 number is 0. Now here comes the third and final Pick 3 number this afternoon, and it's 4. So again, the winning Pick 3 numbers are 8, 0, and 4. It's now time to turn off your winnings. Get ready for Pick 4. And as you know, the balls are bubbling up. First up, a Pick 4 is lucky number 4. The second Pick 4 number is lucky number 9. Now I wonder what the third Pick 4 number will be, and it's 8. The fourth and final Pick 4 number is 1. So again, the winning Pick 4 numbers are 4, 9, 8, and 1. Now guess what? It's easy to win. So let's heat things up with Hot Pick. Here we go. The winning hot pick number this afternoon is 5. Congratulations to all hot pick winners again. The winning number is 5. Now get on track. Cash pot money train are run. Every week is a mystery prize, and this week you can win $300 for every $10 winning cash pot bet. So board the train and collect the winnings. Let's get ready to play our cash pot game for Thursday, April 15, 2021. Now you live to play it, but can you win it? Get ready to be a big cash pot winner. And let's see what the winning cash pot number will be. And this afternoon's winning cash pot number is 19. Congratulations to all cash pot winners again. The winning number is 19. It's now time for some mega winnings. Good luck. And what will it be this afternoon? And a white ball has been selected. So go mega 6 times per day for more chances to win big. Again, the winning cash pot number is 19 and the lucky mark for 19 is silver money. And a white ball was selected for both cash pot and hot pick. So now let's take a look at this afternoon's winning numbers. And of course, congratulations to everyone who won. And please do join us again at 3 p.m. with Carrie Ann for more games you love to play. I'm Samantha. Have yourself a supreme afternoon.
Hope you were a big winner. Play your favorite Supreme Ventures games every day and tune in for our live draw 6 times a day at 8:30 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8:25 p.m. on this station. Supreme Ventures, making winners every day.
That was the lunchtime top draw dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick, and cash pot draws. Congratulations to all of today's winners. Join us again at 3 p.m. for another chance to win in hot pick and special pot draws.
Nation, baby. Rain or shine, any weather. When we go pool, we go Berger.
The time by Berger for lasting beauty and protection is...
It is now 5 minutes after 1 o'clock. If you are just joining us, it's all about Road to Success, the journey. Today we journey with agent SASCO, dancehall DJ, prolific writer, and philanthropist. Welcome back, SASCO. See you jump into stronger.
Well, I say give thanks for the obstacles in our way because the hurdles feet if you jump and you wanna. If everything did smooth every day, we wouldn't know we could overcome. Cause if it don't.
Now, before the break, you were talking about on the journey how sometimes it felt lonely and you have contemplated, calling it quits sometimes because of how you felt, and you also struggled with not being grateful based on what is happening and going on in your life because of the loneliness that you felt. No,
and also like I say, feeling like, all right, yeah, I'm making some noise, but it's a different kind of noise more I make. You know what I'm kind of really. So I think that was really where the disconnect was happening, and so it took a little bit of time and work and support to work through that and to figure out how I wanted to go about it, and in doing that, that's where all of the fulfillment forwarding, and then interestingly enough, that's when everything just get better,
Mm-hmm. No, I've heard you said before that hitting 30 was like the worst day of your life. What made 30 so bad?
So I think I ascribe significance to turning 30 because I was born when my parents were 30, and so I think because of that it was just a significant milestone, even growing up, just having that, and then when I was 30 is pretty much exactly when I was going through all of that I just spoke about, and then my son born when I was 32, right in this. So so once again it was a lot to work through and process, and feeling like, man, I need to figure this thing out. And then 30 was the middle of, I would say, like a 4-year span of, like I said, just this kind of frustration / depression kind of space that I was in, and my 30th birthday being the worst of all of that. So it could only be up from there, but it took another 2 years to really work it out and just grind it out until you start to see, okay, all right, so this is what I need to do, and and of course I can't take all the credit. It's having good people around me, and my family and friends and things, and kind of help steer me out of that.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned depression, and that is so real. A lot of people go through struggles and depression. Being a celebrity and in the public space, Talk to us about your coping mechanism and how you actually maneuvered your way. I know you mentioned briefly the supports.
I have a coping mechanism.
No, I am asking.
I'm teasing. I'm just teasing. So I mean, I guess it's several things. So one of the things is not taking everything on. That's number one. And trying to identify what's truly important. And when you identify what's important to you, it's easy to lose focus of the other the other things. And things just don't mean the same thing anymore. So like, maybe 10 years ago, the exact scenario would play out and you would feel totally differently about it because, you just have a different perspective. So, a lot of it is just growing up and challenging myself to, to see things differently, managing my perspective and challenging that every day. And one of my, so if you follow me on Instagram or anywhere, if you notice, most, if not all my posts will have hashtag give thanks, because giving thanks, the attitude of gratitude is definitely a cornerstone of my coping mechanism, to always be grateful. So I spoke earlier about feeling guilty about not being grateful for what was happening at the time. So, one of the best treatment for that is just to acknowledge, being thankful at all times. And you asked me earlier about what I learned from my mother. I think that's the most, the best gift I got from my mother was, she used to always say, you must just, give thanks. And sometimes as a youth, I say, give thanks for what? Like it would be the worst situation and she said, you must still give thanks. So even when she died, one of the things that got me through that whole thing was her telling me to give thanks for it, to still find something throughout the whole process to be thankful for. It's a immediate recipe for feeling better about anything. If you force yourself to give thanks for something about it. All right, I'm losing my mother to cancer. What is there to give thanks about? Well, give thanks I know my mother. Give thanks. She's the kind of mother that, they did it for me and, walk up and down and find whatever second-hand book and wrap them over. So Monday morning, you have a book like everybody else, giving thanks for those kind of things. So that's definitely one of the most important coping mechanisms. So massive, if you're going through something or whatever, take out your hand them, see if you have 5 fingers, 6 fingers, I'm born by the way, well, 12, and them take them off. But anyhow, so look by your 5 finger them and just find 5 things to give thanks for, no matter what the situation is. It worked for me like a charm. Best antidote, vaccine, I don't know, is the vaccine this for all take. Yeah.
So, all right. So gratitude basically put a lot of things into perspective for you. Now, you've also managed, SASCO, to continue your education, earning a degree in business management. What were some of the challenges you encountered returning to formal education?
The only thing was, of course, long distance model, because it's, and online. Then traveling and doing all of that, and having, a wealth of distractions. But outside of that, it was all right.
Now, you have also given us comprehensive projects like, the theory of reggaetivity, Hope River, and we see the work that you put into these projects. We see the effort, the time, the writing skills, the research. How do you handle disappointments or setbacks? You put out a comprehensive projects and you're perhaps thinking that, this is Grammy worthy, or how do you process those kinds of things? Because it is what it is.
Yes, I guess what I know. One of the best coping mechanisms, and I come to learn it now and I live by it and I embrace it 100%. Anything that I am doing inside here, this is Diamond Studios, there's no consideration of an outcome. Zero. And one of the things that was frustrating me during my frustration time was caring too much about the outcome and believing that somehow, you kind of had to tailor what you're doing to what, what's going on or whatever, but understanding that, but I don't want to do that, So the freedom that comes from, listen, I'm going to make what I'm making in here and I'm going to put it out, and come what may, is the best thing ever, because, you get creative freedom from it. And as I say, it's like give thanks. Why I say it's sell one copy, give thanks. Why I say it's sell 1,000, well, give thanks again. It's it's just freedom. I divorce the outcome once it comes on to music. No, it's I just doing it and put it out, and living with the results. I'm being happy with them.
You mentioned it earlier, having an attitude of gratitude, and Hope River does give us this type of vibration. What did you learn about yourself in the creation process of this project?
What did I learn about myself? I don't know. I think in making that project, I'm trying to, still figure out exactly how I'm to express myself, and still fine tune exactly how to best serve people who care about my music. So one of the things I figured out was you have to slow it down, Bridget. This bugger, DJ fast on the rhythm and people can't really hear what you're saying, then nobody wins. So one of the things that I started to pursue in that making that album was to be deliberate about managing the tempo. So for example, we put the first and second and third that your blessings come forth. You can hear the lyrics. It's at a nice tempo that you can hear everything. I said we're winning right now. A lot of space, grateful. How could I not be grateful? How could it just really slowing it down? So so in terms of like presentation wise, I'm still trying to learn and figure out those things, and that's one of the things that I think came up, through making that project.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned winning right now, and this is like a timeless classic hit. It's more than just music; it's affirmation. The video features your family, and it has impacted other families as well. Did you think winning right now would have been such a source of empowerment for so many people?
But me just tell you something, I think about them thing there.
Mm-hmm. No, but
no,
I know you said that, but
you see that you just do it like Nike said. Just do it. Just do it. And then what I will tell you though, once again with the attitude of gratitude, you just do it, and then when it forward and it have the impact that it has, then you give thanks. So I'm definitely very happy to see the way how it has manifested and just the way it really moved people and continue to do that. And so I'm happy for that. But I can't say in making the song it was like, oh, all right. But so there's two things. There's divorce in the outcome, but there's also sometimes you just feel a vibe like, yo, I think I was saying at the intro, I think I score an offside goal per now. If you listen to the song good, you hear myself score an offside goal, which is something I'm always saying when it's kind of like, you get where we do one, It felt to me very, very, what's the best word? It felt very natural. It felt very organic. How the beat did feel and how the lyrics did come together. And then Sharita Lewis went crazy on those vocals, the supporting vocals on there. So how everything come together, it feel like, yo, that one I feel like, yeah, but all right, yeah.
So is it safe then to say Agent SASCO's creative process entails you not dwelling on what will sell, but just what feels right?
Absolutely, 100%. Couldn't care less. I think management like hear that still, but it is what it is. Like but just do it because I love it, and that's that.
So what are your views then as it relates to the business side of the music? Do you consider that any at all? Because a lot of persons, even though you're doing music because you love it and you're passionate about it, you really cannot divorce the business aspect of it because...
That's why you have management. That's why you have people who, for them job for about that. I personally, I don't love, for example, you see, if you want to get me, just ruin my day, just start telling me about algorithms and demographics and, I wish probably must, like all them, like, I don't want to do that. I just want to make music I want to make. And, yeah, so, yeah. But of course, don't get me wrong, I fully understand and appreciate how important the business part is. And, one of the things that you can best do for yourself as a creative is find people who you can trust to manage that part. And it's a double-edged sword, right? Because a lot of the times that's when the unfortunate situations of, people abusing that trust that you put in them and thing. And, because, you don't want to do that. And, you don't want to have to, you want to create and then, So anyhow, one of the things that you can hope for is to find people who will be able to do that for you. And of course, making sure that you also know the business as well. So not doing the business is one thing, but you at least should know it. And I would like to believe I know enough of the business, man, and go around.
Well, that's a really different perspective, but I totally understand having that attitude for gratitude, but then having good business sense is also vital. But clearly you have a team that you put your 100% trust in. So
no, it's not
that's
that. No,
good
as
too.
I say, if you know what time it is, knowing the business means that you know what is up, and then also to operate from a place of having to go double check and check back everything. That's also a disservice to you and everybody involved. So,
even though you say check.
Yeah, you have to make sure so the check them correct. But yeah, it's a balance. And you have to operate in that space of, so you can create freely. Yeah.
Now, from backyard to kitchen to modern builder, you have successfully given your family a taste of rural Jamaica while living in the corporate area. Explain the fulfillment this brings within your household, especially for your children.
There is no word in the English language or any other language that I can think about that can accurately capture what it feels like to plant a tree, watch it grow, reap food from it, and then see it in your plate. Let me tell you something. That, as I said, I can't really describe that. However, you notice me not try keep the vibe for myself. Sharing backyard to kitchen and encouraging people to do the same is because I want people to feel that, fulfillment. And the great thing is you don't need acres to do it. Matter of fact, you don't even need a kind of land. If you have anywhere where a bucket can fit or a pot, you can plant something. I must say plant listen, pepper, for example, everybody use pepper in them seasoning for the most part. Pepper can grow in a pot, and it is just rewarding to go, so you did plant a little pepper tree and, you fry up something, you can go pick two of them and cut up same time. Trust me, do it. Yeah. But the kids love it, and, I learned that whole vibe, of course, especially being at my father's, I say, for go, pick soursop and then, you see soursop juice on the table Sunday with the Sunday dinner. It's just a different kind of vibe. I go pick some jelly and, the thing is, we have to remember, say, the other 14 or the other 13 parishes outside of, Wagwan. So know exactly what Wagwan. We in the corporate, I really understand that. The man in Portland, I said, what the big excitement you talk about? St. Mary man, I say, what do you mean? Everybody have banana tree, Yeah.
No, we see you through social media consistently building stuff. What have you built that you're most proud of? Every time you see it, you say, John.
No, every single thing. Once again, the attitude of gratitude say you have to give thanks to everything. The first thing we start build about the place was some little what I call it, planter box. But no, it's not planter box. It's just like a little barrier around the young trees of a plant. So like I plant a Suriname cherry and a grapefruit tree. And because I have dogs, and trust me, nothing the dog them love do more than destroy things more time, especially the puppy them. So the first little thing I start build was just the little barrier them for, shield the dogs from the young trees. And I love them because, you see, as simple as it is one of the first little thing I could have built, but it allowed me to enjoy the fulfillment of picking from the same tree them. So everything is related, so I have to love them as much as I love, the more, I guess, impressive builds that I've done. So, for example, making my daughter room, like we did an addition of a bedroom to the house, which is AC, my big daughter bedroom, and pretty much like build it with my hands, like that, that was very fulfilling. But as I say, the attitude of gratitude says, give thanks for everything.
As you mentioned your children, AC, LC, JC, we get the opportunity of getting some insights through social media platforms. And, we see whether they're feeding the animals or reading a book or just being together or having a conversation with mommy or daddy. It is evident the sort of how much you pour into them. But at the same time, we're never too old to learn. What lessons have your children taught you?
Well, a listening patience, I can tell you that. But so like Lauren has a sort of fearless expectation of the world, and I remember being kind of like that, but not nearly, as
her.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I'm trying to learn is to learn to get back to that, to just have, like she expect things. She like, like, what do you mean it can't be done? She just has, so there's that. And then Joshua Esquire, like the way that young man, like, farm in sentences and him, express him ideas, I definitely can learn from him in that regard. Yeah. So yeah, if Joshua did that interview, you have to run in your Oxford couple times.
That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, man. Joshua Esquire, I'm calling him bad. And then Ali Ali's just very, she's like silent river. She's, very intelligent, very graceful. I call her AC the graceful. Yeah, I can definitely learn to carry some of that grace. I see I learn me get upset or something. Yeah, so I learn a little bit of that grace from.
Would you say you're miserable, SASCO?
Miserable, bad people. Let me tell you something. Miserable. Listen, he's an old man who doesn't sit down right as and I know. Listen, I know my soul feels at least 30 years old. I know. All right. Even so, for example, like I go buy a pickup truck and like when I describe to the man them how I want it set up. You're the sales rep. Oh, you mean like the big man spec? Man, I say all the old man set up them vehicle they made it. So I just, yeah. So now I'm old soul and boy, let me tell you, all I'm miserable. But now I learn to live with it. Them call me Oscar the Grouch. I don't want to give me the name there. And the other day, Rat Beatles and Lauren, she go to the gift shop and get me a little Oscar the Grouch stuff thing. So it's up on my bedside table now. Yeah.
No, Agent SASCO, the humanitarian. No, through your Banks of Hope Foundation, you recently completed the Black Diamond Studio, the Metcalf Street Juvenile Remand Center, through a partnership with Digicel. How did you become interested in this project?
All right, so I was approached by the Ministry of National Security through a program called We Transform several years ago. It was Colonel Charles Jr. at the time. And yeah, We Transform program is a program with I think it focuses on juveniles in the system and, with hopes of, absolutely steering them away from that and, onto, more productive contributions. So Metcalf Street facility is the first facility I visited and kind of, just, over the years develop a relationship with the institution and kind of, trying to pursue ways of encouraging the positive turnaround that we'd like to see with, with the young men in the institution. And so, every time I go there, I say, we have a talk or thing, why every man a DJ and every man a singer, So I tell them, so boy, if you don't have the engineer, you don't have the musician, it's not going to work out, So, but sometimes without that exposure, you don't even know, if you can do X or Y. So I say, all right, I think one of the things that would be very useful and what they would definitely, make good use of, is a recording studio. So I have a great relationship with Digital Foundation. I'm a virgin stepper from Forward Step, and I brought the idea to them, and they were very, very excited about it, and so we were able to put the wheels in motion. And I was one of the most rewarding things. Yeah, if you want to talk about the thing I'm proudest, building that studio and working alongside the young men, and in the kind of interaction and exchange is exactly what I think the program needs to be without it being that. So it's not you having a talk and telling a man, this is how you should do this and don't do that. It's just, some chatting more time, work I go on and a little conversation and come up and you can say, well, I would have gone about that differently, or, you can probably think about it that way. Them kind of, that interaction is very, very, very powerful. I learned a lot, through it. But yeah, the studio is done. I have the computer, everything. We just need to go through now and, install everything and then have the handing over and probably vice as true. I don't know.
Sounds awesome. And I think that is what I appreciate about the projects that you are a part of. These are projects that are life-changing, that will definitely, bring about change, not just awareness. And speaking of awareness, you're also passionate about rainwater harvesting and want to educate others. Yes. I saw your post recently. You this is something that you practice at home as well. You have also, through the Environmental Solutions Limited, have distributed drinking water to Kintyre, where you grew up in. Use this platform now to sensitize our listeners by sharing with us what's the importance of rainwater harvesting.
All right. So, of course, once again, the people in the other 13, I look at me like, duh. Most, them catch rainwater, and, it's a significant part of, them water operations. But, the corporate area, everywhere you look, there's a boom in the construction industry, complex here, tall building there. And the last time I checked, it's the same reservoir and, it's pretty much of the same water infrastructure. And every summer when water start lock off, we act like we're surprised. So, something's got to give. And I feel like, if everybody, can harvest, everybody who can harvest a little rainwater, then it take some pressure off the system. So for example, currently my capacity is 1,700 gallons, and I'm building another 10,000 gallons in the backyard. I only wash my cars with the rainwater and wash the kennels and stuff like that. And of course, gardening and things. So that means for every gallon of water that I don't use out of the reservoir, or which part of my water come from, right? So is a gallon that somebody else who need to really use it for something, So imagine if you multiply that now by 1,000. Also, whenever you have heavy rainfall and everywhere flood out, that is because the water run from your roof and go on the ground and go out on the road and find its way in the gully and everything overflow. Harvesting rainwater can also minimize the effects of flash floods, because before the water find its way in the waterways going at your tank. You know what I mean? So there's that benefit of it as well. But it definitely needs to be the kind of thing that we are proactive about. So we don't want to make it get to a stage where, we have a crisis on water. And come on, we don't need to talk about the importance of water. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Speaking of which, partnering with the Jane Foundation, we are in the midst of doing a system, rainwater harvesting system at the Workley Home for Girls. Am I saying that correctly? Is it Workley or Workley? Whatever. The one on Constant Spring. So yeah. And so that's Jane Foundation, and I don't Leanne Spence, and I don't remember the other entity, but yeah, that's 1,000 gallon capacity, and it will be used to run their laundry there. So once again, that's another how much ever gallons that, you know, we're not taxing the system. Yeah.
No,
and with the Ministry of, Pernell Charles Junior Ministry. It is one of the long name on them for the housing and environment and everything. So yeah, also with that ministry, we are doing some work with, you know, not just the environment and, you know, my work with RPJ, recycling partners and the whole, you know, recycling campaign, but also, you know, even looking at how rainwater is factored into, you know, building codes and you know, that kind of thing.
Now, some of our younger entertainers, SASCO, who are currently at the beginning of their journey, may not be cognizant of the impact their lyrical content have on society, especially our youths. Now, once a lyrical assassin, now matured into Agent SASCO, can you relate to any of this based on your own journey, and what advice would you give to them?
Absolutely. I think, you know, so a part of it is, especially with what my journey has been, and, you know, as I say, I was assassin at 17 and, you know, sing all kind of songs, including gun song and thing. So, I understand being in that space. I would just humbly suggest that, well, at least acknowledge the effects of it. It's one thing to be at a certain stage of development, and, you know, that's how you know, express and, you know, whatever, that's all fine. But I think we can at least acknowledge that, you know, it's not just words, and it's, you know, it has impact and influence. We can start this. Let us start by acknowledging that, and then with that acknowledgement, you can choose to do with it what you will. So a man might acknowledge it and still decide, so, well, guess what? I just put on my pot, so you can't tell me nothing. Or a man might acknowledge that and decide, say, well, you know what, if I saw, you know, I might want to do less of it or do something else. So I would start the conversation at just the acknowledgement. No judgment, just the acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm. No, you basically have alluded to it. Having an attitude of gratitude is a huge part of the formula for success. What advice would you give to our listeners locally and internationally who are on their journey on the road to success? What would you say, in your estimation, are the ingredients to attaining success?
Well, I think it's very important, first and foremost, to define it. You know, one of the best things you can do in any endeavor is to, you know, define the key factors or the key terms, right? So success itself, I think we'll have to define that for ourselves. And for me, success is relative to potential. So it's the maximizing of my potential in whatever era. So as an individual, as an artist, and, you know, all of that. And then finding the place where that intersects with your values and your resources, you know. So in defining success, I'm like, all right, you know, I need to make sure that I'm maximizing myself and doing things relative to my abilities and challenging myself and all of that. So therefore, there is no comparison in it. One of the biggest mistakes you can ever make is starting to compare your journey or compare your quote unquote success with others, because it's a different journey, it's a different set of variables, and, you know, you don't know what a man's potential is, and you need to focus just on yours and trying to make sure that you're maximizing that. And I believe in continuous improvement as well. So I'm always trying to be a student of whatever I'm doing and challenging myself to be better at it and learning from others, and, you know, so, you know, things like that.
Agent SASCO, this was fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time out and allowing us to journey with you on your road to success. An attitude of gratitude, I am sure we're taking away that from this conversation.
We're brilliant, let me tell you, because sometimes we do some interview and Lord God, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Agent Sasko. You are absolutely winning. Bless up to you and your family. You have an awesome support system. And can I tell you, your wife, Nicole McLaren Campbell, she was a part of season 1 of Road to Success, The Journey, and she was superb. Gems left, right, and center.
We're in a good company then, man.
You are in good company. So next, you know, it will be AC, LC, and JC. Who knows?
Right, as well. Yeah, man. Give thanks. Thanks for having me. No respect.
Thank you so much. So that was Agent. He is winning right now. Talk truth.